They say love covers everything, until money enters the matter. This is the story of Ogunevwe and Ife, a married couple from Eforun, Delta State, who built their life from struggle, laughter, and faith. They lived together with their 2 children, Ise and Ovi, in a small but happy home. Their mornings smelled of pap and akara, their evenings filled with laughter. They didn't have much, but they had peace, and sometimes, peace feels richer than gold. Every morning, Ife opened her small tailoring shop. Her hands danced over fabric like they were born to create beauty. She worked hard, dreamed harder, and prayed hardest. People loved her for her kindness, her laughter, her heart. She would tell her customers, "Even if I never make millions, at least my work will speak for me." But destiny had other plans, because one afternoon, her phone rang, and everything changed. While Ife sowed dreams, Ogunevwe chased illusions. He was charming, good-looking, and always had one new business idea or another. Today, he was a car dealer. Tomorrow, an oil agent. People called him Sharp Guy. But behind that confidence was an emptiness he never admitted. At night, Ife would ask, "Did your deal go well?" And he'd smile and say, "Big money soon, my wife." Just watch, but that soon never came. One hot afternoon, while Ife was sewing in her shop, her old Etel phone rang. At first, she ignored it. Then it rang again. "Hello? Am I speaking to Mrs. Ife Ogunevwe?" "Yes, this is she." "Congratulations! You've been selected for the Delta Women Empowerment Grant, 5 million naira. Her heart stopped. She blinked, looked around, as if to make sure it was real. Tears fell before words came. She knelt on the shop floor, whispering, "God, is this me? Did you remember me at last?" That day, the whole street celebrated with her. But only heaven knew what that blessing would soon become. When Ogunevwe heard the news, he hugged her tightly and said, "God has finally answered our prayers." But behind that smile, his mind was already counting. He told her, "You can't handle this alone. Let's invest it together. I'll guide you." At first, it sounded reasonable. After all, he was her husband. But Eve didn't see the shift, how the her slowly became our, and then his. That night, as she lay beside him, he whispered, "Soon, you'll never need to sew again." And she smiled, not knowing that was the beginning of her loss. It began small. One business deal here, one urgent land payment there. Ogunevwe said it was all for their future. Then the spending started. New clothes, new friends, nights at lounges in Warri. He started staying out late, phone always busy, stories always changing. Eve tried to ask questions. "Ogunevwe, where's the receipt for that land?" He would frown and say, "Don't you trust me?" And she would go quiet, because in her heart, she still believed love meant loyalty. But soon, her shop grew quiet, her savings thinner, and her heart heavier. She knew something was wrong, but she didn't know how deep it went. Months later, the calls started coming. Men she didn't know asking, "Madam, when are you paying us our balance?" Balance? Her heart dropped. She checked her account. Empty. The grant gone. That night, she confronted him. Ogunevwe shouted, denied, insulted her tears. "You think I wasted your money?" he roared. But deep down, he knew the truth. He had destroyed everything. When she fell to her knees, crying, he stood by the door in silence, prideful and broken. By morning, he was gone. Just like the money. Just like their love. Months later, news spread like wildfire. Ogunevwe had been arrested in Warri for fraud. He had used fake documents to sell the same land to 3 different people. When Ife heard, she didn't scream or curse. She just sat quietly in her shop and whispered, "God sees everything." Then she wiped her tears, turned on her sewing machine, and began again. Soon, she trained 2 young girls, teaching them not just tailoring, but wisdom. Her children grew strong, her laughter slowly returned. She realized something powerful. Losing him wasn't her punishment, it was her freedom. They say love is patient, love is kind, but when deceit enters a home, it burns deeper than fire. Eve learned that trust without wisdom can destroy everything you've built. She lost her money, but she found her peace. And peace, once regained, is priceless. Today, she still sews, but now her work carries her name alone. When people ask, "Where's your husband?" she simply smiles and says, "He deceived me and wasted my money until God showed me who he really was."